Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Daniel Winton, CEO of Operating in the Black, and welcome to Sphere of Influence, People You Need to Know. We have a great guest in the audience today, or actually in the show today, Tony Callaway. He's an ex-military man. You're absolutely going to love him. Now, as you know, sphere of influence, what our goal is and our mission is to facilitate meaningful discussions with people who shape industries and communities through engaging interviews and thought provoking content. We strive to provide our audience with actionable insight, expert advice, valuable connections. Sphere of Influence seeks to be a trusted resource for individuals seeking to expand their knowledge, their network, and opportunities on their personal and professional journeys. So, again, our next guest, totally respected in the field. And one of the things that you're going to find out with networking is sometimes you're going to find and you're going to work with people that do very similar things. But the field of funding and the field of finance, let's get Tony in here. Tony Callaway with Private Money Syndicate. He is an expert in the real estate space. So let's get Tony in here. Hey, Tony, thank you so much for being here today.
Daniel Winton, one of my most favorite people in the whole wide world, man. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Oh, you are quite welcome. You are quite welcome. And we are so thankful again that you are here. But before I start asking you a series of questions and things of that nature, I'd like you to take a few minutes to talk about yourself, your company, and just basically introduce yourself to our viewers.
All right. Well, I always start off by telling people I'm a blessed country boy.
Okay.
And blessed in so many ways, but one of the great blessings is to be in an industry where we help people to power their dreams with private money. That's the slogan of the Private Money Syndicate. And by virtue of me saying syndicate, the nature of the business that I'm in, that you're in, Daniel, it is networking. I heard you mention that a moment ago. And
Right.
we're fortunate to have relationships with dozens of lenders who my expertise is in the real estate and business acquisition space. And in addition to the funding, we also provide the consultation to help our clients to start, grow, scale their businesses with the money. Because one of the things, and you and I have had this conversation before, and this goes with my background of having taught college as an undergraduate and graduate professor in the field of business.
Right.
And money is not necessarily a solution to most people's problems when it comes to business. The money may pay for the solutions, but if they don't have the other attributes important to the success of the business, for example, having the marketing, having the technology in place, having the branding, and the other supporting things that help to not only drive a business to revenue, but drive a business to profitability, all the money's going to do is get them in trouble. And
Right.
I guess the last thing I'll say is I tell people I have 0% infant mortality policy. So we're not going to loan anybody money that's going to put them out of business. We want to help them to get started, stay, and grow their business.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest challenges is putting a tool in someone's hand that could possibly do more damage to themselves than anything else. But what I also wanted to talk to you about, because we are always so excited about having our nation's veterans on the show. Tell us a little bit about your military background and some of the places that you served.
Okay. All right. Well, I had a 10-year active military career and I stayed in the reserves for 10 years. I was commissioned as an intelligence officer. I know they say that military and intelligence are two words that you shouldn't put together, but
Right.
yes, I was an Army intel officer, and my very first assignment, day after I graduated from college, was at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. I was a platoon leader in a linguist platoon in the 18th Airborne Corps. And it's funny because I tell
people, so you jumped out of perfectly good airplanes? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
How was that? How was that?
How was it?
Yeah.
Well, actually, going through only jumps I had were jump school, and you go to jump school. The first one is scary as I don't know what. Now the rest of them, you know what to expect. But
Okay.
like I said, you go out the static. You feel yourself that literally you're just kind of like frozen with fear, almost like going down a roller coaster on that first big run. And next thing you
Right.
know, you feel the chute pulling out, and you're praying. Then we see that thing blossom above you. It's like yes, and then you got about a 15-second ride down to the ground, and you do your parachute land and fall and fold up your chute and run off the landing zone. And so that was the first one. The rest of them, like I said, it's you've done it before, so kind of like been there, done that.
Right.
But
Well, I just
but
wanted to make sure that most people haven't been there and done that. So I definitely wanted you to bring that up. That's great. That's pretty
well, thanks.
exciting stuff.
Yeah. Well, back to what I was saying about the linguist platoon, and I won't overburden the conversation with this. I said I only spoke two languages. That's English and Ebonics, and here I got these guys that speak Farsi and Spanish and several different African languages and things like that.
Okay.
So, but I left Bragg, and then I went to Fort Huachuca, Arizona, where I went
Okay.
to my intel officer basic course. I was supposed to be an aviator. Most people don't know that the Army actually has more aircraft when you count the helicopters than any other branch of service. And all the flight physicals that I had taken on that particular one, the one that counted, my eyesight was 20/25, and the flight surgeon said, "Uncle Sam ain't gonna let you fly his airplanes."
Wow. Wow.
So I was a little bit crestfallen, but God has a sense of humor because I got my private pilot's license when I got to Fort Benning. My next assignment, realized I didn't really like flying small aircraft because most people don't realize that they don't have air conditioning. There is no shade above the clouds.
No,
So,
no.
so
Hot, and then they dance around a lot in the air. That's
exactly,
been my
exactly,
experience.
yeah.
So how did you make that big jump from being a linguist to getting into funding and finance?
All right. So all right, still at Fort Benning, my second installation, I had three different assignments while I was
Okay.
there. I was the battalion intel officer for infantry brigade. Then I wound up going to post headquarters and working in combat developments. And we were
Okay.
actually doing a threat to the Bradley fighting vehicle, which was a new fighting vehicle that was coming out. This is back in the 80s now, so obviously that dates things. And then I was the commander of the special security detachment, which handled all the top secret stuff. But I met this guy when I was in combat developments. He was studying to become a stockbroker.
Hmm.
And at the same time, a friend of mine who played on the intramural basketball team talked to me and asked could he come do a presentation and talk to me about life insurance, which I said, sure. I didn't understand anything about life insurance. Just so happens he was with A.O. Williams at the time, which is now
Okay.
Primerica. And so they had educated me on buy term and investor difference. And I bought a policy, but then the guy back at my unit, Jeff, was studying to become a stockbroker. And I remember my college roommate was studying economics and finance. I was a biology major. His books were thicker than mine. And I'm like,
Hmm.
wait a minute now, these guys are learning this stuff, right? And I was fascinated. So I got into funding indirectly because I got into the financial services industry. I was Series 6, 63, 26, 65, licensed just about everything. Did that for
Right.
28 years, but in the course of that, I started investing in real estate. I know it's a long story, but these are facts and only the
Okay.
facts. Okay, I started investing in real estate and I used private money. So when I retired from my financial services business, I bought and flipped a few houses, had some in portfolio. So one of the lenders called me up and said, you looking to get any money? I said, well, no. I said, out of curiosity, how does somebody do what you do? And he said, well, you can become a broker with us. And so that's where it started.
Okay.
I signed on as a broker with that one real estate lending operation, and then it spiraled and spiraled and spiraled to now doing what we've done now. And so I'll say the confluence of approaching this from the fact that you and I both know most people don't understand private money,
Right.
and being able to,
Right.
I call that fiduciary responsibility of explaining people what money is about and how it serves them, and being able to understand mechanics of the various forms of finance so that we can consult. I think a lot of things from my educational background, military background, financial services background has helped me to be successful. And my success is in helping people to power their dreams for private money.
That's that was one of the things I was going to ask you. By being in the military, by being a teacher, how has all these experiences shaped you to provide a better product to your customers?
Well, I think that's a deep question. I think the most significant thing that comes to mind in answering that is responsibility, realizing that I have a responsibility to be of service to someone.
Right.
You and I both know, and the viewers of your show also know, I call it sales speak. There's a lot of bait and switch, a lot of things that get your attention. And again, when people want money, they want money. I mean, I would say that's probably one of the most provocative desires to people. And I think that a lot of times people get crestfallen because they get disappointed because somebody pumps them up, and then they don't get what they wanted, or they go in blindly and find themselves, running breakneck speed to the end of a dead end road.
Right.
So
Right.
from the standpoint of, I'll say, me knowing better, a lot of times I think the most important thing that I do is that responsibility is almost with someone being, I would say, like my child that I want to teach. Okay, so from the standpoint, I want to teach them to accomplish what they want to do through the processes that lead to success. For example, having a plan. Okay, because the capital supports the plan. If you ain't got a plan, what are we doing? Had a guy call me up last night, say, "Hey, I got this house, and I want to, can you give me money for it?" I say, "Well, I need you to give me the details so I can answer that question intelligently for you."
Right. Right.
But most other companies will say, "Yeah, sure, we can. Send me the information." And so that sense of responsibility, because I remember I was them once. I didn't know anything. I didn't know any
Right.
better. I was just ready to go dive into the deep end. Didn't even know how to swim. All right. So
Yeah.
I'm glad the lifeguard was on duty. That's all I can say to you.
Right. Right. Well, that's what I would always like to ask. When we're doing these things is that um, because customers are so afraid of contacting and reaching out because of that very reason. They don't know what they don't know. So what is your what would you say to someone who's looking to get into real estate investing? What would be one of the first things that you would ask them to do for themselves?
Um, I am going to give the advice that served me well, and that is work with a mentor. In other words, either piggyback, ride shotgun, or have somebody enter your deal who's done it before. Because
Okay.
I always and I've had a number of people who become clients of mine. I say, look, you can have 100% of nothing, or you can get 50, 70, 75% of something, and
Okay.
learn how to do it right the first time. Because if you do something the first time that works, you don't know if you were good or if you were lucky. Okay.
Right.
All right. And if you fail the first time, you don't know if you didn't know what you're doing or it was just a bad deal. So
Right.
having a mentor is something that gives a person the experience, gives them the insight into why things do and work the way that they do. And then once you kind of take the training wheels off, you're much further down the road, because most people either crash or burn early, or they crash and burn late because they didn't establish that foundation. The second thing I'll say, and in short, is you need to know what your game is, because a lot of people say, "I want to invest in real estate." Well, do you want to flip? Do you want to build a portfolio? Because those are two different strategies, and your
Right.
capitalization and then the model that you create has got to support one or the other.
Right.
Now, to the extent that most people just want to make some money, I slow this process down and say, okay, now here's what you have, and here's the shortest path to making some money. And maybe that might be flipping, but now from that point, what is your macro strategy? What's your strategic outcome that you'd like to see yourself with? And again, that goes back to that consultation. And I don't know how much time I have, but I've got a very
Oh, you
interesting
got
story
plenty
I
of
can tell.
time.
Oh, okay. All
You
right.
got plenty of time.
Well, I did this once, and I say I'd never do it again, only because it took so much time, and I'm very, very deliberate about things. I did a mentoring program. I had 6 folks who I spent about a year and a half with, and there was this one guy. His first name was Reggie. He's retired Army NCO, gung ho, He was a
Okay.
football coach at a local high school. And I mean, this guy, every week he was bringing me 2 or 3 deals. And I said, no,
Wow.
Reggie, that's not a good one, man. You don't need to do that one. And so after about 6 months, I mean, literally every week he was 1, 2, sometimes 3 deals. And he finally bought his first property. Then within, I'll say 3 weeks of the first one, he bought a second property. So we had our biweekly meeting. I said, well, Reggie, now you're rolling. None of the others had gotten that far. I said, well, tell the rest of the group what it is you now understand that you didn't understand before. And he said, y'all, man, I want to slash Tony's tires, man. I'm bringing them all these deals. And he said, no, that's not a good deal. But then I turn around and somebody else bought it and stuff. I said, Reggie, somebody else might have been good for them, or they might not know what they were doing. He said, but
Right.
now that I've got it, I got it. It's kind of like learning to ride a bicycle. You can read the books, watch the tapes, but until you get on the bike and fall a few times, it's good to have somebody there to help you. And I think that was the point that he was communicating, that there's a level of knowledge that you get from getting your hands dirty, but keep somebody from allowing you to, grab the wrong thing.
Right.
And after a while, you start seeing everything that's shiny ain't gold, and you start seeing the opportunities that are the real opportunities for you, which is the point. So, that is, I guess, an example of the way that the private money syndicate and I like to work with our clients.
Okay. Well, as a matter of fact, I want to spotlight you for the next couple of minutes so you can tell our audience a little bit more about Private Money Syndicate, how they can get a hold of you. Definitely tell them that everybody out there, just make sure you let Tony know that you saw him on Sphere of Influence. People you need to know.
And
Okay.
that's right. That's right. In
All
fact,
right.
well, thank you, Dan. One of the first things that we do when people call us, we ask, how did you find out about us? Because 95% of our clients come from referrals, and we do pay a 10% revenue share for referrals, because nothing better than someone who's had their hands, shaking hands with somebody who's served them well. So that is out there for anybody who wants to reach out to the Private Money Syndicate. And the best way to get in touch is at privatemoneysyndicate.com, privatemoneysyndicate.com. We got a very rich website because our emphasis is on information and education. And you can pretty much get an education on private money across the whole spectrum. But there is where you can schedule a consultation and we can talk with you. So what is unique about the Private Money Syndicate? Well, the fact is, as I said before, we take a fiduciary responsibility with our clients to see to it that whatever they are pursuing, whether it's business or real estate investing, and looking to use private money to capitalize that, they are positioned for success. And when you go to the About Us page on the Private Money Syndicate website, you'll see all of the consultants that we have in every area of business that can help you to get the guidance that you need. And I'll give you the example that we work for. Let's say that someone needs their e-commerce set up, they need their social media done, and they need to get they need to get a patent. I mean, we got people that can do all those things, or maybe a government grant or a government contract. We got people for all those things. So let's suppose most people who fail in business, they're going to bootstrap. They got 10,000, they're going to get started. Well, that's what they got in their bank account. But we say, hey, when we look at all this, to get everything you need 50, and we can help you to get to 50, but you're going to use the 50 to get all these people involved in your business, support you getting to success and profitability. So the Private Money Syndicate, that syndicate is not only the syndication of capital, but it's the syndication of the intellectual and experiential resources of professionals to help your business, your real estate investment plans to fully blossom to success. And so that's what we're all about. So get in contact by going to the website, privatemoneysyndicate.com. Spend all week there, because you probably can. We got videos, we got everything to help you understand who we are, what we're about. We want to meet you, greet you, and help you to succeed.
Wow, that was great, Tony. And yes, I use a lot of those folks myself. And the great thing about Tony is that you can see he is very, very concerned with you, his client. And that's one of the reasons why I'm associated with him, because I know that when my clients go to speak with him, they are getting the very, very best representation. And he is so humble. He didn't want to tell you that he jumped out of perfectly good airplanes. He didn't want to tell you that he was an airborne guy. And he didn't even mention that they do loans up to $700 million. It could even get up to that $1 billion mark.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's one of the things. He's not messing around. So, but now he did say 10,000 to 50,000. So he gave you a good range of the people that he can work with. So you don't ever have to be afraid of calling and contacting him, because there will be somebody on the staff that will be able to assist you in getting you from point A to point B. So I just really wanted to point that out.
Well, now let me ask you, Daniel, can I love on you just a little bit, man? I mean, if you don't mind. For all of you who have the privilege and opportunity to engage with Operating in the Black, Daniel Winton, integrity is the word I would associate with him. It has just been beautiful to work with someone who stands behind whatever they say, whatever they do, and a promise is kept, you know. And so from the standpoint, that is, I won't say it's rare in the world today, but I think so many people have run into the alternative experience that most people are jaded, perhaps. And in this world of private money, there are a lot of characters out there that will, like I said, they'll get paid, but you won't get rich. Okay, let's put it that way. But that ain't Daniel. He's going to help you to get the capital you need. He works tirelessly. And as I often say, even from my side, is if we can't get it for you now, we'll tell you exactly what you need to do to get it as soon as possible. And I think that kindred spirit that he and I share is just a beautiful thing. So if you have an opportunity to work with myself, or anybody that's part of our teams, you're going to be in really, really good hands. But he is a professional, and he cares, and he gets the job done.
Well, thank you so much for saying that. I really do appreciate that, and that really means a lot. It really, really does. And that just leads me right into my next question regarding networking. You've introduced me to so many wonderful people, and you know it's critical in our industry. Can you give our listeners any insights on how to go about networking and basically how to recruit your tribe?
I am naturally gregarious.
Okay.
So from the standpoint,
so for us that didn't go to college and teach class in college, what does gregarious mean? You know,
I like being around other people.
You started out with that whole country boy thing, and then you start dropping these words. I'm gonna have to get on the computer and try to find out how to spell it first to even look it up.
Well, I have to say I grew up in the country, but my mother was an English teacher, so you know, I used to get picked on at school because you talk so proper. You know, I had to learn to speak slang, but yeah, I grew up in on a farm. But I am a people person. And so I know that some people aren't. So from a tactical perspective, I call it partying with a purpose. Okay. In other words, if you're going to be amongst people, the natural thing for me to do is to start off by asking somebody, well, what do you do?
Okay.
And so you open up the conversation, and they're going to ask you, well, what do you do? Instead of trying to, I call it throw up all over people. You know, you show interest in other people, because people like to do business with people they know, like, and trust. And so the first thing you got to do is get to know you. And, you know, people like people who like them. So I would say as getting out of the batter's box on the first base, show interest in other people, understand what it is. And so if I'm listening to someone who, you know, and three things I think most people want to do is they want to go in business, they want to invest in real estate, they want to write a book. So, you know, somewhere in the course of conversation, they're going to say something about business. That's going to resonate. And then I might say, well, how are you funding that? And then I say, well, I'm trying to figure that out. Ding, ding, ding. See, now I got an opportunity to network. I can solve their problem. I'm the doctor. They're the patient. So all I got to do is, hey, man, as I tell people who become referral partners with it, I say it's only four words you got to know to get paid. And that is, hey, I know a guy. Okay. Yeah. So, hey, I know a guy that can help you with that. Okay. You don't have to be the financial expert. You know me, you know Daniel. Say, I know a guy. Okay. And so from there, you're in a conversation because you've shown them that you know them and that you like them and that you want to help them, and they know you, like you, and they want to trust that you can help them solve their problem. So again, if you're not going to go out looking for people, whenever you're at church or whenever you're at the ball game or when you're at the birthday party, just ask people, what do they do? What are they working on? Just kind of get them talking, and you'd be surprised that you are surrounded by opportunities, especially in the space that we work in when it comes to private money.
Okay. Well, we got about 2 more minutes, but I want to ask you, what would you like to leave the viewers with, number one? And what was a memorable success that you had that you'd like to speak about?
All right, let me start with memorable success so I don't run out of time. There was this lady who got referred to us who had created this pillow that you put behind your back if you're driving long distances. She gave me one and it was magnificent. I'll drive with it now. And she
Okay.
had been reluctant to get a licensing agreement because she didn't know anything about, patent. She had it patented, but she didn't know how to market it. Long story short, through the private money syndicate, connected her with a patent attorney who
Okay.
worked out a license agreement. Now his fee was $50,000. Guess where she got the $50,000 from? I think it was from you. Okay.
Okay. Hey,
She paid
who
the guy.
knew?
She paid the
Okay.
guy. And
All
within
right.
3 months, he had a licensing arrangement set up, deal with somebody, and she gets $7 for every one of those pillows sold. And when I
Wow.
talked to her about 6 months later, she had made about 15 grand, hadn't had to make a single pillow. But that's a success story, man. That's a
That's
success
awesome.
story. And if I
That's
could
awesome.
leave anything with you all, go to privatemoneysyndicate.com. And our slogan, my belief, our effort is to help power your dreams with private money.
Are we still here?
I'm still here.
Yeah, okay. Say you're, I think I didn't get the,
The, you froze up, so I'm not sure what you were saying. Well, if you were asking for the website, phone number, and address, it's
okay. All right.
privatemoneysyndicate.com, privatemoneysyndicate.com. I see it scrolling across the bottom. We're located at
Perfect.
5402 15th Avenue, Suite B1 in beautiful Columbus, Georgia. Zip code 31904 if you want to write me. And the phone number is highly classified, but I will tell you because I'm on Daniel's show. It's 706-888-3719, 706-888-3719. But I suggest you go to the website, schedule a consultation. That way you won't be phone ambushing me. We'll have a time set up that we both look forward to talking to each other, and we can help you to power your dreams for private money.
Oh, that's great. Well, Tony, I absolutely so appreciate you being here. So we're going to talk to you later, but thank you for stopping by. And I'm going to go ahead and close out the show. So thank you so much. Oh, wow. Uh, love Tony Callaway. I just really appreciate everything that he's done. We've been in business for over 5 years, and he was one of my first people that I networked with. And as he mentioned earlier, it's been an absolute joy, and we've done tons of business. And like I said, the beautiful thing about Private Money Syndicate is that they consultations on anything. So if you're looking for manufacturing help, if you're looking for lending help, if you're looking for real estate help, because there's nothing worse than me hearing these stories about people spending 40, 50, $60,000 to get enrolled in a course and it doesn't work. When you can go over there and talk to him and it doesn't cost you anything but your time and just share your dreams with him regarding you being successful in the future. But again, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. We so appreciate you because without you, this wouldn't make any sense to do. So we thank you so much, and you have a great rest of your day. Bye for now.